Greetings, and welcome to another week of Here to Help You. I am Dave Rankin, alongside the Idrin who decided to join us today, Lawrence Kerr. I can't front. I appreciate the props. I think we would do some, switcheroo in regards to who's wearing
We'll see how it goes, right? I think it's safe to say this will remain on this side of the table for the majority of the show.
It's okay. We can switch many hats today, that's for sure. Since we are talking about a little bit of a serious topic today, right, regarding the Me Too movement, and especially in regards to now the song "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Wow.
I've read it briefly in regards to, of course, the controversy. I didn't get a chance to go and follow with it until you actually brought it to light.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I thank you very much for going and doing
not a
so.
problem. It's
right?
been a hot topic. I've had several very interesting conversations about it on either side.
Oh, I can imagine, man. It's for real. So, you know what? Thank you very much once again for joining us for another week. If this is the first time you're joining us, we're here to help you. Simply, we're here educating our people, bringing stuff to light, whether it's our social issues, educational issues, or simply just all types of challenges, right? And today, my brother has joined us, what we call Brothers Helping Brothers. And this brother over here is going to help me go ahead and understand a little bit more regarding, of course, the Me Too movement, and especially with the controversy regarding the Baby It's Cold Outside. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it. I guess it started when Cleveland radio station, they went ahead and pulled the song.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? To be honest with you, I've never really read the lyrics up until, of course, this past weekend.
Right.
Right. So, we'll definitely dive into the lyrics, a little bit more. But however, though, this Cleveland radio station decided to go ahead and withdraw the song "Baby It's Cold Outside" from its rotation of Christmas songs, right? CBC, in fact, followed suit along with a number of other Canadian radio stations.
Several outlets have pulled it as well.
So the concern at the time was this, that the lyrics in the song were simply inappropriate considering regarding the Me Too movement, right? The lyrics, of course, speak to a man who is pressuring a woman to go ahead and spend the night, and it takes me back to a time. And I'm sure as men out there, we can go and attest to this in regards to, we try to drop our lyrics to a woman still, and so say, "Be a beloved, we are go on, sir." Yeah?
It's like, they really have to go.
You can't go, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the song, when we look at the song, especially the time of day, I mean, originally written in 1944, Dean Martin sang it over, I believe it's 1959, and of course, there have been many versions since. And I didn't think nothing of it because, I think it's really, really innocent.
It's in the movie Elf. It's a kids movie, and which has become my favorite Christmas movie.
Right.
Okay, I love that, and so it's my song, and he's singing it. I'm like, yeah. Zoe Deschanel is killing it.
For real.
Will Ferrell. I'm like, yeah, this is good.
But little that we know. Right, of course, the sensitivity of the issue, right? And of course, mind you, we're smiling today, we're having a little light, and it is fun in regards to how we're going to present the topic. But of course, there's nothing to joke regarding the Me Too movement. We understand the severity. We definitely understand in regards to solidarity behind the movement. And more importantly, it's come time to now we as a society go ahead and help protect our women. Right. So by means, with respect to regard to the lyrics today, we will be going ahead and taking a look at the lyrics. We're going to go ahead and actually tackle some of the I guess we're looking at some of the actions within inside the lyrics as well.
The controversial
exactly.
verses.
There we go. Right.
The bars.
Right. So by means, in regards to, of course, the art form, and especially from a different time period, right? It's easy to go ahead and lock it away in the vault forever instead of engaging with what it really makes us uncomfortable, right? In that case, let's go ahead and pull the lyrics from the song. Let's go ahead and actually tackle some of the lyrics, right? And so we can go ahead now and see where some of these controversies may lie. Can we go to picture number 1, please? So, this evening has been, and in brackets, that's where, of course, they go back and forth.
Yeah, the round,
right. Been hoping that you drop in. Now, this goes ahead and of course, paints a picture. Now, this woman goes ahead and drops in. I don't remember if it's unexpectedly, right? Maybe you can go ahead and help me out with that in regards to the woman go ahead and dropping in.
I think it was a planned visit.
Okay.
But it was, a casual visit. It wasn't a date like, hey, you're coming, you're going to spend the night, or it wasn't dinner. It doesn't seem like. Just stopped by for a little bit. They were chatting, and the night had progressed. And, it got a little late, and apparently it was cold outside.
It's cold. Right, so I really can't stay, but baby, it's cold outside. I've got to go away, but baby, it's cold outside. So you can hear, of course, the persuasive side of things. by means, I mean, it could be taken as regard to really, really being light. I mean, of course, the notion of it is very flirtatious.
And it
right?
depends on the version, and who's singing it. So, the Satchmo version, and but then Leon Redbone, his. So depending on who it is and the back and forth, and if the man is being more aggressive and the woman's being a little more coy, so there's a little bit in the interpretation of the artist,
right,
and how they're singing that. So based on the lyrics, so I really want to wonder what that exact moment was that they said, oh wait, when they heard it, it's like, oh no, this is bad.
Well, I mean, you know what? We're looking at sensitivity, right? And of course, we live in a day and age now where pretty much almost anything can be highly sensitive, right? As opposed to go ahead and now and having these topics, this conversation, and so on and so forth. Let alone of like surveys, right? I mean, when's the last time we heard a radio station go ahead and do a survey regarding a song that may be deemed a little bit too controversial or maybe highly sensitive as well?
I think part of it, coming from a radio background, they do a lot of the focus groups,
right?
On general for what the format is. So, CHR, a contemporary hit radio station, can this fit within the playlist? You can swear, shit. You can actually say that in songs now.
Yeah.
I nearly fainted the first time I heard. I'm driving in here. I'm like, whoa! What time of day am I listening? And what station am I on?
Right.
So they do have some, but I think right now it's way more loose than what they can say. We'll probably talk a little bit more of some of these other songs that have been compared to that are 10 times worse, more worser.
Worser, right?
But so yeah, what is appropriate and who makes those decisions, right? That's
and of course, we're looking at simply society at this point in time as well, right? Are they trying to expand the consciousness, or simply, are they simply letting loose? And pretty much like it's the attraction figure as well. Are they letting things a little bit looser so that way they can go ahead and have more followers, have more viewers, have more shares, and so on and so forth, right?
And the other side of it is, how do you determine if I'm offended by something? Who are you to tell me that I shouldn't be?
That too,
right? And that's really gets
very true. Let's go to the second picture there. All right, so really, I better scurry. Beautiful, don't hurry, but maybe just a half drink more. Put some records on while I pour. I mean, you know what? Once again, we're seeing, of course, the persuasive side of things. You can tell, as the Jamaican would say, "Boy, the man, I really work hard for them things." You see me? But at the same time, I mean, she is stressing the fact, she's leaning on the fence, right? So, I mean, once again, like, how do we go and interpret, something that's, once again, like, highly controversial in this aspect, right? I mean, you said you had a couple conversations, and of course, it went on either side of the fence.
Yep.
What were some of the notions, a conversation that came out of that?
Well, it's mainly has been with women, and they have been like, this is ridiculous. Come on. Get over it. This song is so old. It was out before the date rape, was ever an issue. This whole Me Too thing, it's gone too far. And this is a very strong, independent woman. And she was. I'm like, okay, I didn't expect her to take that view.
Right.
Quite honestly.
Okay.
I thought, she was going to be. That's right. They should ban it, and they shouldn't have this song play anywhere ever again. And no, she's like, no, this has gone too far. People can't talk. You can't joke with anyone anymore. That element of flirtatiousness is, So now, if I see someone, I want to speak to them. I'm like, boy, I got to think twice. Dot my I's, cross my T's to make sure that it can't be taken any other way but the way it was intended.
I totally get that. And I had that conversation with a brother as well, saying that, like, stuff like this is going to make men a little bit more afraid to go ahead and approach women. But at the same time, it's like, what? I think as men, we've been getting away with so much for so long, right? Let's go ahead and look at the time period. Of course, the song was written about 1944. So we're looking at a time period when now, of course, men were going in to assert their male prowess, so to speak, right? If we look back now at some of the social experiments of Edward Bernays, where simply now men were seen more prone to smoke cigarettes. But of course, now a woman now not being able to go and smoke a cigarette, right? How would that be deemed?
Right.
Right. So I mean, we can see both sides of the fence at that point.
And that's
as well.
it. And that's the so again, you take the time period of when it was originally released or intended to be consumed to where it is now, and I think a lot of that has to do with look at social media.
Right.
And social media hasn't created a lot of these situations. It's exposed it.
That's true. That's very true.
So if this one radio station had pulled that and it was that, but because now it's social media and that gets out and there's a thread and people see that, now it's gone viral.
There we go.
Where it would have been isolated, no diss to Cleveland, but
right.
would we be here in Toronto talking about something in Cleveland in 1944
right.
that wasn't war? So it's really just exposed a lot of things that it's been there.
There we go.
For how long?
Yes.
But now it's on that level, and we're very much more interconnected and aware.
There we go. So we're speaking about social awareness regarding the Me Too movement, and as well as the highly controversial song, Baby It's Cold Outside. We're about to take our first break.
Okay.
Once again, I.R. Dave Ranking. This is my brethren over Yassa, Lawrence Kerr. He's brought in the props. I always wanted to do this. Stay tuned with this. We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hello, my name is Anisha, and I'm the production manager of TCN Network. Have you ever wanted to host your own show? Do you have a message to share? Well, you're in luck. Start here. Fill out the Propose a Show form on mytcntv.com. We're here to educate, support, and build the community. Can you lead by example? Go the extra mile and seek knowledge? Are you humble, disciplined, responsible, selfless, and enthusiastic? Those are our core values. And if you identify with them, you could be part of a growing network that focuses on positivity and uplifting our community. We can't wait for you to join us on TCN Network and hope to hear from you soon.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
What's your hurry?
And Father,
listen to that fireplace roar.
So really, I better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't hurry.
Maybe just to have
Why
a
don't
drink.
you put some records on?
We're back. Once again, I'm here to help you. I am Dave Ranking alongside my Adrian, Lawrence Kerr. And we're talking about the highly controversial song, Maybe It's Cold Outside.
Maybe it's cold outside.
Now, you were playing something over the break, and by all means, you know what? I wish we had a chance to go ahead and have the clear audio. However, though, with respect to a radio station,
Yep.
right, and the host in regards to what he was saying, right, you mind going through some of those points?
Yeah, well, this is the Jazz FM, the big band show. You know, he was talking about one issue in the one lyric,
yes.
about what's in my drink,
Right.
And he's like, look, maybe he just, you know, she's thinking he slipped some scotch
Right.
into the drink. You know, so what's the harm?
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's funny when you hear that. For me, it was like as an old boys club.
Right.
Like, this is the way we've been doing things.
Right.
This is what it's been. What's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
You know, not looking at it from what it is now.
Right.
So there's what it was intended to be and meant, but then a listener sent in a letter after he discussed it the week prior, and it was a female, and she supported this whole like look, boys need to be boys.
Right.
We can't take that away from. It's part of that rite of passage and everything else, and was their side that they took on it. So it's really interesting to see that there are as many females that are okay with it,
Right.
as there are opposing it.
Right.
Right. So
It's interesting, definitely. Could you put it on picture number 3? We'll go to that line there, right? It begins by the neighbors. The neighbors might think baby it's bad out there. So what's in the drink? No cabs to be had out there, right? So I mean, it's very interesting, definitely with respect to what you said, right? And of course, with the picture there, I ought to say no, sir. Mind if I move in closer? At least I'm going to say that I tried. What's the sense in hurting my pride?
right.
Right. So I mean, you know, once again, I mean, where's the line? Is there a line drawn in the sand?
Well, it's if we were to account to see how many times we should, how many times did she say no, and how many different ways did she say no?
Right.
And you know, you keep pressuring, but you know, you could take it either way with that line. At least I can say I tried.
Right.
So is that, you know, her giving in and saying, okay, you know, for show, for keeping up appearances?
Correct.
This, you know, is
Yeah.
that what that is?
You know, show a little leg and then take a little back. I get you.
Right? It's like at least I can say I tried. So
Right.
that to me is a concession. That's like, okay, I'm gonna stay.
Right.
Right?
I get
but,
you.
you know, did he beat that out of her, like wear her down?
Mm-hmm,
Because you know, it's like the ugly guy that gets the really hot lady that doesn't have money, you know, but
Yeah.
he was just.
Yeah,
You know,
persistence.
and the, you know, let's say that happens a lot in the office. That you know, women will see this guy, and he'll have that opportunity little by little, just to
to chip away.
But she's just
Yeah.
like, first she's like, then after a while, I've been the recipient of that, so
Okay.
I've been benefit of that persistence. So I can't lie. I can't. I've been the benefactor of
real.
that persistence.
I'm going to read this thing real quickly. This is coming from Dean Martin's daughter, right? And this was found on www.nb.com, right? And she says the following. She says, I know my dad would be going insane right now. He would say, what's the matter with you? Get over it. It's just a fun song. Of course, by means, she knows her father. She knows that, of course, her father wouldn't mean anything behind it. So now, once again, it is alluding, once again, to, of course, to that era, right? I mean, when I first heard the song, and I mean, of course, we hear it constantly over and over and over again, right? I'm not really hearing, of course, anything that would be alluding to the fact, right, of something being so controversial, right? But we are hearing, of course, you know, the sense that our women have been through so much, right? And not only just our women, but women in general have been through so much, right? And of course, you know, and now we're looking at now when is enough, right? And the mediums as well.
Yeah, and so like I alluded to with the social media, and there's the proliferation of everything. You know, it gets out there so quickly and so much. And you know what? If you want to see anything or find anything, you can. And so when is enough to say I just can't take it anymore. Like I have to listen to a Christmas song and feel threatened,
right?
And feel uncomfortable. Yes, it was written a while ago, but
right.
I can't tell you how you should feel about that. It goes back to my theory in branding. I can put it out there as much as I want, but I can't change how you feel. You're going to feel the way you feel.
Right.
I can influence. I can't control.
Definitely.
And this is exactly the case of I can. There's so much debate about this that it's. I think some people may come back over because when I first heard it, I was like, oh my God, this is right. I don't want my kids to ever. The school play, they can't play this anymore, and everything else. And it's softened a little bit when I think about again the time, the era, and if so many women aren't offended, why should I be?
I get you. I totally get it.
It's not directed to me, but thinking about my daughters.
Yes.
Like, oh, hey, listen.
Yeah.
My daughter says it's cold outside. She's got to go.
Yeah.
Don't let me hear. We already know I don't look good in orange, but I'll be donning that orange jumpsuit. Okay.
I understand. I totally get where you're coming from with that. Especially with opinions. And you know what? CBC in fact has reinstated the song.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and in fact, their statement, appreciating that not everyone interprets the lyrics the same way, listeners may wish to skip the song as we understand that everyone will agree with this decision. Right? So by means, you know what? They've went ahead and said, listen, we understand where everybody's coming from, but this is the position that we're taking.
You know what's interesting, though? When you say that, the CBC is the one that did that, being a public radio station.
Right.
They don't have a foot in the game as much. They don't have as much to lose. No one's taking the CBC off the air. No one's pulling their license. They're good. So, and this is why we need, and we talk about public radio and the NPR. We need them.
Yes.
Because they can say and do things. If you listen to their programming, it's far more. I don't mean liberal as a ideology, but liberal in what they can play
they can
and
go
everything
ahead
else.
And play. Yes.
So as that gatekeeper, to be able to say, okay, we're going to do this, and the public sector can now, or private, can take cues from that. So for people that wonder why we have these stations, this is what they do.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's nice.
We have a saying in the record industry that labels follow labels, right? Of course, you know what? You got a singer who sings a certain way. Another label is gonna want to go ahead and follow another label, and get a singer who sings the same or very similar style, right? And I feel that with the pulling of the song at first, maybe it was a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction, considering that, of course, where it was coming from, right? I know CBC, Jazz FM, of course, they've had their issues, especially with inappropriate acts. You're looking at, of course, one of their hosts. In the past, right, of course, being pretty much convicted, right? So I can understand in regards to their position at first, right? And now, of course, doing an about face, I'm not sure in regards to how does this go ahead and help their branding, right? How does it go ahead and actually help their listenership, their viewership, so on and so forth? Considering that, there may still be, a lot of people who might just be offended.
I think because of what it is, and it's a song that it isn't in the regular playlist.
Okay.
So it's for a short period of time. They can endure that. I think there's been enough outcry and conversation and dialogue that they can weigh the issues with that and say, we'll take our licks. If there's a fallout that continues and next year they don't play, they've got like 2 more weeks really to play the song.
Really? Yeah. Realistically.
Right. So in that time, whether they're playing it or not, this might be something as a promotion for those stations, even more so say, look, for those people that have an opinion that this should be pulled, they're still going to listen to the station to see if they're playing it.
True, very true.
It's like, those shock jocks.
Yes.
People listen to Howard Stern. They hate Howard Stern.
Correct.
They want to listen to what he's going to say.
Yeah, what nonsense he's going to say. Very true.
Sorry, what's the one here? Jeffrey Agard.
Yes.
Sorry, let's keep it Canadian. But, for that reason. So, but then if for those that say, I'm going to play it, all right, that's my station. All right, they're standing up for, our rights and everything else. So I think from a branding standpoint, making it about face and saying, mia culpa, mia maxima culpa is okay. Right? And saying we aired and we'll take that controversy and that attention, and it's attention.
There you go.
And that's where everybody is competing
Right.
for.
Yes, exactly.
Radio, TV, print, YouTube, it's all about attention.
It is attention, for sure. And since we are going ahead and actually covering attention as well, stay tuned with us. We are now approaching our second break. Here to help you, Dave Rankin and Lawrence Kerr. We'll see you back up these messages.
There has been some controversy over yet another song. First, Cleveland's Christmas station just announced they're banning this Oscar-winning song that was first made popular by Ricardo Montalban and Esther Williams in the 1949 movie Neptune's Daughter. Take a look.
Neighbors might
But baby, it's bad out there.
say, what's in this
No
drink?
cabs to be had out there.
I wish I knew how
Your eyes are like stars
to
right
break
now.
this spell.
I'll take your hat. Your hair looks
I
swell.
ought to say no, no, no,
Mind if
sir.
I move in closer?
At least I'm gonna say that I tried.
What's the sense of hurting my
I
pride?
really can't
Oh, baby,
stay.
don't hold out, baby.
Ah, but
it's cold outside.
PC leadership. Let's go live to CTV's Mike Arcelides, who had a chance to speak with Patrick Brown today. Mike?
Tony, yes, I did. Bolstered by yesterday's rally in Mississauga, Patrick Brown was all smiles today at his family day roller skating event in Orillia, as Brown tries to reclaim his party's support and trust.
Back in his home riding of Simcoe North, Patrick Brown's bandwagon is picking up passengers, days after Brown filed papers to rejoin the PC leadership race.
How instrumental is this support to your resurgence and your re-entry?
The support has been fantastic.
Do you feel your support is growing inside the party every day now?
Absolutely. The support of party members has been incredible.
Brown stepped down as leader of the Ontario PCs last month, following a report by CTV News in which two women accused Brown of sexual misconduct. Brown's own party promptly called for his resignation. Today, a defiant Brown says the allegations are false, and he's cleared his name after passing 2 lie detector tests with ease. His supporters agree with him.
100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, a couple hours ago, I learned about troubling allegations about my conduct and character, and I'm here tonight to address them. First, I want to say these allegations are false, categorically untrue, every one of them. I will defend myself as hard as I can with all means at my disposal. It's never okay for anyone to feel they've been a victim of sexual harassment or feel threatened in any way. Let me make this clear. A safe and respectful society is what we expect and deserve. And no one appreciates that more than I do. I've got 2 younger sisters who are my best friends. I've grown up in a family that has taught me good values. My values and beliefs are those that we need to move forward to eradicate sexual violence and harassment across the province, across the country, everywhere. I know the court of public opinion moves fast. I've instructed my attorneys to ensure that these allegations are addressed where they should be in the court of law. In short, I reject these accusations in the strongest possible terms. It's not my values, it's not how I raised, it's not who I am.
No, we're back to our third segment here, and we're talking, of course, the Me Too movement. We're incorporating, of course, the song "Baby It's Cold Outside," originally written in 1944. A lot of us are more familiar with the Dean Martin's version. Of course, we played a different version here just a while ago about Ray Charles and Betty Carr. Among others. I mean, it's been sung by countless of artists. Now, and of course now it's spread with respect to now, of course, this movement, and it's affected so many lives, right? And we see now, of course, with the clips that we just shown us a while ago, with respect to now Patrick Brown, right? I mean, it's interesting once again with respect to now who it hits, how once again the how, the who's, the what's, the where, so on and so forth, right? So for those who are simply a little bit unfamiliar with regards to what happened with Patrick Brown, let's go over some of the facts. So Patrick Brown allegedly made sexual advances towards a teenage staffer who was drunk and nearly half his age during his time as a federal MP. Now, this is according to one of two women whose accusations of sexual misconduct led to his resignation as leader of the Ontario's PC party, at that point in time, right? So, I mean, 1944, right? Let's go back to it once again. We're simply looking at, once again, now, with respect to men now, like, asserting their prowess, right? I mean, could this be something now, allegedly, happening once again?
And the fact, the whole, this is where the slippery slope comes in. The burden of proof. So just based on an accusation, look what happened.
Yeah.
Now, if he wasn't the man that he is, and have the tenacity and knowing, I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
To fight and have the party ostracized him.
Yes.
So people were just left him hang out to dry. Like,
right.
You know what? I can't go down with you. And he had to fight to clear his name and to vindicate. And there's some people that don't recover from stuff like that.
Yeah, it's true. You
don't have the resources. The fact that he has a legal background, it definitely played a factor in that. Because if it was me, I'm done.
Yeah, I get you.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, let's look at Tavis Smiley, who hasn't recovered yet.
Right.
Right. The scientist, I forgot his name now, but of course he's going through something similar to this as now, right? I forget his name now.
DeGrasse?
Yes.
What?
Yes, he's facing something like that right now, currently, right? I mean, countless of other people, who are now facing the same thing.
Wow,
right?
I didn't know about that.
Mind you, of course, like you said before, the burden of proof, right? For Patrick Brown, and once again, here's the incident. The woman who was 19-year-old summer student at the time told Barton, who was a reporter, that she was at a party for a hockey night in Barrie, right, an annual charity event where Brown's friend provided her with a series of free alcoholic drinks, right? By that time, the party moved to Brown's house, where the woman asserts that she became very intoxicated. So now, this intoxication now, is it now, I guess, an opening? Because now, of course, I've seen situations now where, and we can see some of the commercials, we see movies now once again where simply a woman now is now being intoxicated, right? Of course, inhibitions are being lost, right? Look at this, the Netflix series 13.
Okay, right.
Simply, of course, we've seen that, of course, the black girl, right, who now once again now simply all inhibitions are lost, and now she's. I'll admit,
I watched the first episode and I stopped.
Okay, well, yeah. It's heavy. Right, I mean, it is a heavy topic, but at the same time, I mean, art imitates life.
Right.
Right, and now we're seeing something like this, play out over and over again. Now we're simply, hey, like, if she's intoxicated, who gives you the right to go and approach her in such a manner, right? But then again, once again, we just don't know.
Well, it is side too. If both parties are, does that cancel each other out? Because yes. I don't know what happened. I don't remember.
Right.
Am I, legally responsible for my actions? Because you have to drink responsibly, right? But when it goes past that point, then what, right? So it's so tricky, that you mentioned the gentleman from the CBC.
Yes.
I can't remember his name now.
I can't pronounce his last name, but he was the host
of the Q.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that's going through and to the point where they had all the evidence and everything else, and he was going to fight to see how far they would go.
Correct.
With the brinksmanship. But Patrick Brown, he took a lie detector twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a level he had to go to vindicate himself. But you know, we don't all have that that ability. You know, and the access to those resources. You know, be it from a lawyer or just
a regular layperson, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, you know, and like now, are we putting the pressure back on, of course, the victim, the said victim now, especially now where something like this it happened. Well, she says it happened, right? And now she doesn't relinquish her position. She continues to work on it. So I mean, do you now look at the flip side of things of, well, you know what? Well, this happened, but she didn't move on. She decided to stay.
Well, you know, this throwback, we're talking about historical. Look at the whole Monica Lewinsky. You know, what she went through. All the, you know, death threats and everything else, couldn't get a job, everything else. And she was the victim.
Yes. Yeah.
And what she had to go through to prove her side, her case. So, you know, there's that challenge because, you know, you have to, you know, the victim needs to feel safe, that they can come forward and they're not going to become the villain and victimize themselves. So there's that, and then there's the side of the person, the accused, about, you know, what happens to them, you know, and there's so many cases where they've, you know, been proved to be guilty, innocent, but that damage is done.
Yeah,
they're tainted, and not everyone can bounce back from that. So that's such a slippery slope. That's such a, you know,
it is.
You know, you want to be able to protect the accuser. And you know, and again the accused. So I don't know if it's hey, these things need to happen behind closed doors. They go the course. They're not made public. You know, they have a secured, a sequestered jury and everything else. And at the end of it, either it, you know, goes away, or then it becomes made public if the person is guilty.
If the person is guilty, right? I mean, you look at Harvey Weinstein, you know, and of course those numbers of it's just amazing regarding the number of women that came out. But, you know, of course, once again, this is something that takes place quite often.
Apparently.
Right? You know, and not just with him, but of course with other members, you know, within the so-called, you know, Hollywood society. Right? So, and as we say that, of course, we're approaching another break here. We are talking the Me Too movement. We're talking, of course, you know, Baby It's Cold Outside, the song, you know, as well as, you know, a number of very small, you know, large incidents that would happen around these movements as well, you know. Stay with us. We'll be approaching you, of course, right after these messages, and we'll definitely be back.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Back once again. My name is, of course, Dave Rankin, alongside Lawrence Kerr. We are talking about the Me Too movement. We're incorporating, of course, including the controversy behind the lyrics of the song "Baby It's Cold Outside." And trust me, if you're in Toronto, the GTA, why cold outside.
This is the first consistent day, back-to-back day, mine in the negative.
In the negative, yeah, possibly. Yeah. I mean, we've been quite fortunate so far with the weather, right?
Yeah,
but I mean,
we've been
why?
good, but I'm not saying I'm not happy about it. I know we're here. I know I'm in Canada. The angry emails and calls coming in. Listen, I was born here. That doesn't mean anything. I don't like it. That's a whole nother topic.
For sure. You know, and you know what? Continuing on, of course, with the movement. Now, we've had not only just women speak out about this, but of course, men. You know, people go to the picture of Terry Crews. You know, I find this quite alarming. Because you know what? Let's look at the physical side of things, right? And when you see Terry Crews is not by any means, you know, a very small
No,
man.
not at all.
Right? So now, for him to be subdued, right? He says, you know, that he froze in fear. Right? I mean, it goes to speak to in regards to, of course, the psychological effects.
Absolutely.
Right? With respect to now, of course, not only keeping your position, right? But now, should I, shouldn't I? What am I going to do afterwards? So on and so forth.
What are the
right?
consequences for me to retaliate from a physical aspect? Because I'm going to say, unless it was Arnold Schwarzenegger that did it, there's a good chance he was bigger than the individual.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So if that's the case and he physically acts, what does that do? And then if he just acts, period, what does that do as far as, you know, his position, his career? You know, his testimony was amazing at the trials.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It takes incredible strength to go ahead now and to divulge, right? Something that is very traumatizing. You know, whether it's in private to a loved one and so on and so forth. But this brother, right? And I mean, yes, we do have to commend him for his strength, because by means to go ahead and endure, have something, you know, done to him, right? To endure that for a number of years, you know, and finally have the strength to go ahead and come out and say
he didn't have
something.
to.
No, of course he could have kept it to himself.
You know, and I don't think, you know, sometimes people, I feel, jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
You know, I won't say the Me Too, but I'm saying Me Too. It's Me Too. I had this happen to me.
Correct.
For their shine, and you know, some, you know, want to be actors or actresses. I think this might get me in the limelight and everything else.
Right.
And so they'll pile on, and you know, there is some of that. But I think not just speaking from it's happening to men, but to add strength to the argument for women. Right. And I think that's part of, you know, men, that we need to do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
For sure.
we have to support.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's for sure. You know what? And let's go to the 50 Cent comment. I thought this is hilarious. I mean, you know, 50-50, of course, you know what? By means, he's the king of trolls.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
Right? So I mean, you know, it goes on, you know, what the F is going on out here. You know, Terry, I froze in fear. They would have to take me to jail, get the strap. So I mean, you know what? We have so many men out there saying, listen, this ain't happening to me. And of course, you know, like by means, you know, us being from the islands, of course, we already know how we stay with a certain thing, right? So by means, you know, like, are we now ignorant to the simple fact that, you know, there are men out there who may go ahead and actually freeze in fear, might have that psychological effect on them, right? You know, are we being that sensitive, you know, or insensitive to that aspect?
You know what I always say? You don't know how you're going to react to something until it happens.
True.
Because so many times people say, "Oh, that was me. I would have." Yeah.
Right.
Until it happens.
Until it happens.
And then, you know, you freeze and you say, "Oh, I would have done this. I would." And you, until you're in it, and all those other things that are happening in that moment, that, you know, you make 35,000 decisions a day. 35. So that one is just, and a lot of them are subconscious.
Yes.
Right. So he could have just, as a reflex, reacted, but obviously, a part of he mentioned that his wife had trained him and prepared him for, if anything happens, how he needs to react. So his mind was right. He was ready. So So that's an individual that was prepared for the unfortunate, for the unthinkable. Most of us aren't.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if someone came to put a gun to me, yeah, good luck trying that. So it depends on on what you're, you know, really been in. Now, if you've been in a situation before, there's a better chance that you'll know how to or react differently than you did previously.
Correct.
But so I think, you know, given his explanation of what the situation was and how he handled it, it was the right play for a black man in the industry, coming to the industry later in life. He wasn't a young pup that, you know, this was something he was doing, and it wasn't a last ditch attempt.
Yeah.
But this was, he looked at it and said, if I react, this is going to negatively impact my career.
Right.
Negatively impact me as from, you know, jail or anything else. So all those things went through his mind, and as the burden of being a black man in society, we have to think about those things. Correct. We can't just act. Yeah. You know, because, you know, he said people have reacted in other situations and wind up in jail.
Yeah.
Or dead.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and And once again, now it should bring in a little bit more of an understanding, especially what some of our women do go through. Of course, historically, in regards to the African woman, how they've been, of course, raped, brutalized, the object of course, the Caucasian desire, for so long. There's a movie which depicts this quite so well, Uncle Tom's Cabin, right? This movie is very graphic for anybody who hasn't seen it, but by means, the scenes in that movie, which of course, once again, show the male proudness, right? And of course, looking at our women as sexual desires, sexual objects.
It's tough.
It is.
And especially knowing that this is what happened. And,
Yeah.
was the other one in Django.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, I have to isolate myself for a little while after watching those movies.
Right.
I need to decompress.
Yes,
Living in North America.
Correct.
It gets me, not because of the acts and what I'm seeing. It's in taking it in and knowing this happened. And this was real.
Yeah, it is, and it's a very serious situation, and very definitely, we love the evocation. By means, we'd love for the audience to go in and chime in with their comments. Of course, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, so on and so forth. But if you have any comments whatsoever, want to go ahead and share in the conversation, by means, leave your comments at the end of the broadcast today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lawrence and I would love to go ahead and hear from you.
And anyone knows I'm the debater. It's something I'm working on, not taking on all of those things, and taking on all that energy from people.
Right.
Someone said something about my socks the other day, and I'm like, he's in public, in a public place. He
Right.
came at me about my socks. I'm like, whoa, no, don't do that. I'm
Right.
Lawrence Kerr.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end your life. And I went after him on social media.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
So, and then he came back, and then I made a comment, and that was the end of that. So
Yeah.
if anyone wants to take me on, let's go.
I hear that. But speaking of socks, please by me let our viewers know regarding the sock drive.
Oh yes. It's going extremely well. We've got a giant tiger at Shoppers World Brampton. This is coming in. They gave us a great discount on some socks and donated an additional batch of socks today, actually.
Wonderful.
So it's going extremely well. If anyone wants to contribute, you can come to Lock and Twist at 7 Ardglen Drive. And we're also taking cash donations, and then we'll go and purchase socks on your behalf, and $12 buys 20. And the email you can send that to is socks89 or sockdrive89@gmail.com.
Wonderful initiative, and we read this the other day in regards to, of course, how many diseases, let alone the sickness, health relations are coming through the actual feet. So, of course, it is a connection, of course, to the ground and so on and so forth. So it's a wonderful cause. If you haven't donated yet, please go ahead and do so. If you can't go out there and actually purchase some stocks, I'm going to go to the monetary, by means, you heard the gentleman. We will definitely have the links at the end of the show for you to go ahead and contribute. Last thing, the pop-up shop.
Oh, yes.
Our brother. I think we got a picture there for the pop-up shop. Wonderful. Our brother, he's been on the show twice. Mr. Mark Stoddart. Live it, wear it. It's an amazing thing that he's been doing, especially, with respect to John Carlos.
Yes.
And now, of course, with the shirts, the Viola Desmond shirts. He'll be at a different book list this weekend. I think it's the Sunday.
Yes, Sunday from 12 to 6.
There we go.
So I have another event from 2 to 5, but I'm going to make my way down there to be a part of that. So,
yeah, man.
You've seen the pictures and everything else, and just to support. It's just been absolutely amazing. So yeah, definitely have to make.
By means, trying to stand up. By means, and of course, Kente Claus. He's I guess he's gonna be in Brampton as well.
He's making his first visit to the GTA.
Okay.
And Brampton is going to be the location. So the Journey, it's the community center next door to my studio.
Yes.
And Lock and Twist has graciously said you can host. They're going to host Kente Claus. And we can have some refreshments and activities, storytelling and whatnot.
Excellent.
So, yeah, it's going to be fun. And
beautiful.
Then there'll be an opportunity for a limited number of people to get photos with Kente Claus.
Wonderful, wonderful. So for those of us who are looking to do something this weekend, here we got it. We got Kente Claus. We got the pop-up shop. By means, we have Lawrence Kerr. That's it, my friend.
Oh, speaking of the pop-up shop.
There we go.
So I got my limited edition Levy 68 shirt.
Yes.
That's very nice. So not to Not to be left out, though.
Oh. For sure. Yes. That I'm going to show up to pick up mine as well.
No, this is yours.
Oh, respect, dude. Thank you so much.
I saw him this weekend.
Yeah.
And I told him I'm going to see you, so I said, you know what, I'm going to get my shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come and stunt on you.
Shoot, don't worry, it's all good, man. I'm going to find somewhere to go. Actually, you know, I look kind of tight still, but you know what? It's all right, man.
We'll might have to get it changed.
It's all good.
One. Maybe Simone will take that one.
Yeah, let me go to Drake.
You know what he was thinking already, right?
Yeah, of course, you know what? My brother, thank you so much for going and coming to
My pleasure, man.
You know, so for sure. You know what? Stay tuned, of course, to Erica. She will be on after this one here. By all means, once again, we'd love to go ahead and hear from you. Leave your comments in the below sections on YouTube, Facebook. We will be sharing it amongst all of our viewers. And by all means, you know what? It's been a wonderful time today. This is Here to Help You. I am Dave Ranking. This is Lawrence E. Kerr. Peace and love, family. We see y'all next week.